In this video, I'm going to discuss what is the best key light that you can get for filmmaking that's under $250. Well, I think I found it. This Godox LE 300Bi. Now, of course, you could spend a lot more money and get a better light than this, but you know what? It meets the 6 main ingredients that you need of a great key light. Plus, it has some extra things too. Of course, there's a couple of cons that we'll discuss at the end that might make you want to spend a little bit more money to get a better light. So first, let's talk about the 6 essentials for any key light. The first is, it's got to look good. Now, when Godox reached out to me and asked me to review this light, they asked me whether I wanted the white version or the black version. And I told them I wanted the white version. But then they told me that they didn't have the white version yet, so they were going to send me the black version. And so I got the black version. And then a few days later, they sent me the white version. So this is great. I can show you the light, and I can also show you the light. Now, I'll show you a side-by-side comparison of this light with another light in just a little bit, but first, let's take some readings. All right, so I have the light set at 3800 degrees Kelvin, but I'm getting a reading of 3441 Kelvin, so just a little over 150 degrees Kelvin lower than I'm actually seeing. That could be the softbox, but you know what? Also, every light that I've had, they're rarely spot on the spectrometer. So, not a big deal to me. Oh, and this is fantastic. It's getting a CRI score of 97. Now, Godox says that it actually scores a 98, but there's a lot of other lights leaking around in this room, so yeah, it probably is actually 98. Godox also claims to get a TLCI score of 98, and I got, yeah, 98. This light scores very well in the specs. But you know, the most important thing is what it looks like, so let's just put up another light against it and see if we can tell a difference. Let's put a much more expensive light up. Let's put an aperture light up. All right, this is hilarious because I was going to compare this light to the 600X Pro from Aperture. Yeah, but you know what? I couldn't get it to be dim enough to actually work against this light. Yeah, it's just way too bright. So what will I have to do then? Well, I'd have to get a few more lights and then lighten up everything else in the background and decrease my aperture. Yeah, I don't really want to do that. So sometimes it's great to have a light that isn't so bright and expensive. But of course, sometimes it is nice to have a light that's super, super bright. All right, now I found another light. It's over the $250 limit, but it does dim down quite a bit. It's the Nanlight FS-300c. An entire video about that you can watch right over there when you get done with this video. So to me, the Godox light checks the first box of looking great, and it's very comparable to other lights in its class. It has great specs, and I think it looks nice. Well, looking at the footage, there's obviously a difference between these lights. There's a little more red in this light than there was in the Nanlight, but you know what? I could work with either one of these lights. Oh, and if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button. It's the easiest way for me to get this out to other lighting nerds like yourself. Was nerd too pejorative? With more lighting intellectuals like yourself. Oh, and I need to apologize in advance for the upcoming section because the XLR handle on my FX2 decided not to work for it. Yeah, it just gave me the audio from the camera. I don't really know what that's about. I'm getting a little worried about this. I may have to send it back to Sony. But for the next 45 seconds, well, you'll get to hear the internal microphone from the camera. Sorry about that. The next requirement for me is that it's at least a bicolored light. Now, a full-colored light would be fine, but a bicolored light is really what you need 99% of the time, especially when you're going to put it on your face. So with a bicolored light, you're able to get a very cool light or a very warm light, and if it were just a daylight only, well, you'd be stuck right here at 5600 degrees Kelvin, and that would be the only light that you had. And if you're trying to match that to other lights like these incandescents behind me, well, you're going to have a little bit of a problem. You're going to have to try to use some gels or do things like that, like we used to have to do in the old days when all lights were daylight balanced, or they were tungsten. But even then, to be able to go in between daylight and tungsten on these bicolored lights, this is fantastic. Third, the light has to be easy to control, both on the back of the light and with the app. Yeah, this does a great job of that. It's got a nice screen, it's easy to get around, and the controls are intuitive. And I really do love this app. And of course, you can access all those little effects that you have as well, like, candlelight or explosion. Now, the effects are just limited to, of course, different shades of cool and white light. It's not a full color light, so you don't get like cop car and those types of things. But you know what? I've never actually used cop car. If I did, well, I'd probably find a light around here that could do that. The fourth thing that I look for in a key light is power. This is 330 watts. I don't know why it's not called the 330Bi, but it's a 300Bi. Maybe because that's the output. Either way, it outputs a lot of light. Here, let me show you. Yeah, there's a lot of light available in this light. But just as important as going up really bright is the ability to go really dim, as we talked about a little earlier. Yeah, this is down to 5%. It'll actually go down to 1%. Yeah, not enough light for here, but it's nice to be able to have a light that can go super dim. Now, the next thing I look for in a key light is a full-size Bowens Mount. Yeah, because I'm going to want to put this on a softbox, and softboxes are full-size Bowens mount. Now, you could get this little guy. This is the Godox ML 100Bi. It's a 100-watt light instead of a 300-watt light, and it packs quite a wallop, and it's great for travel, and I do really like it. But you know what? It wouldn't be my first choice for a key light. I'd only use it if I had to pack really, really small. But there are some other advantages of this light because you can get a whole array of these little mini modifiers, and these are great, like this little Fresnel. Yeah, I really do like this light. And if you want to see how cool it is, well, you can just watch that little video right over there. But the problem with this Godox is it doesn't have a full-size Bowens mount. There is an adapter, so you could use it in a pinch, but it's not the thing I'd want to use day in and day out as a key light. Now, before I get into the extra features and the features it's missing, I want to talk about the last deal breaker for me, and that's fan noise. And yes, there is some fan noise on this light. You know what? It's not that bad. It really doesn't bother me. If you have the light down under 10%, the fan doesn't even come on. And when you put it up even higher, well, the fan noise is there, but it's really easy to take out in post. Here, let's crank it all the way up. Let's see if you can hear that. In fact, I have my microphone right next to the light. Can you hear that? All right, now let's take it out in post. Yeah, it's really that easy. But now let's talk about a few things that make this light really, really special, especially for the price. First, it's super, super durable. It's made of metal. There's a little bit of plastic on the handle, but the yoke is metal. It really feels nice. Oh yeah, and the reflector, it's metal as well. Oh, and here's another feature I love. Yeah, it just plugs in without a huge brick hanging on it. Yeah, a lot of other lights will require you to put this power adapter on and kind of hang it on the stand. This just goes straight in. Now, this means it's not going to run off battery power, but for a key light that's super powerful, you're probably going to want to plug it in anyway, because the batteries that you would need to do that, well, they'd have to be pretty powerful themselves. And you'd be talking about a much more expensive light. Now, another cool thing that I wasn't expecting is DMX in and out. Yeah, this is fantastic. You usually don't find that in lights of this price. Now, I don't use DMX, so it's not a big deal to me, but if it is to you, well, it's great that it's in this light. Oh, and this light also has an NFC connection, which is really, really handy. When I set this up on my phone, all I had to do is hold it up here, and it saw it, and then turned on the app. Now, it's probably not a reason why I would buy this light over another light, but you know what? It's a really cool feature to have. Oh, and another thing it has is a dedicated Bluetooth reset button. I really like having a button like this because you don't have to go through the menus if you need to reset your Bluetooth. So there's a lot to love about this light, and I have not found a better key light under $250. But there are a few things that this doesn't have. For example, it's not weather resistant, so you're not going to want to take this out in the rain. There are lights out there that cost more than this that are weather resistant. So if that's important to you, well, save up your money and get one of those. And just remember, this is not a full colored light. And even though 99% of the time it won't matter, well, there is that 1% when you're going to need that cop car effect, for example. Or you're going to want to be able to put some sort of mood lighting on. This is not going to do that. It's just going to give you a fantastic white light across the spectrum from warm to cool. Hey, thanks for stopping by.